Thursday Night Tea
with Anthony.
Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. Thursday Night Tea. It's Thursday Night Tea
with Anthony. Yo, welcome to Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Don't you just love that note? That is a great note, great note. We are here live in the District of Columbia. We have an amazing show for you. Give it up for Listen Vision Studios. We're here, WLVS Radio, at 2622 Georgia Avenue. Today, in the house, running for Ward 1, we have Lori Parker. An amazing woman. She's going to come and talk about her campaign and her platform. But you know what we have to do? We have to pay these bills. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with the hot topics. All right, stay tuned for more Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Welcome to Lock Love Salon. We're located at 402 8th Street Northeast, Washington, D.C., right in the heart of the capital. Come in. Let me introduce you. Welcome to Lock Love Salon. We here at Lock Love are an award-winning natural hair care salon that focuses on natural hair care and lock artistry. We believe in the inherent beauty of natural hair and take a more of an educational, holistic approach to natural hair to preserve hair quality and assure healthy growth. We have an in-salon marketplace stocked to the core, full of essential products to promote healthy hair, which we also use ourselves. All of our stylists are well versed in all things natural hair care. Locks, extensions, flat twist updos, kid styles. We are here to promote your best you. Come to Lock Love so you can be locked in love, and we'll see you beyond the red door. Tea with Anthony. We are here at Listen Vision Studios live in the capital, the District of Columbia. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks, Kevin, for tuning in. Charity, Sade, Brian. I need you on my show. Call me when the show ends. So today we're going to have a short show. I have to go knock some heads off at this comedy competition and go get these coins, which I'm known to do. So just say a little prayer for me so I can bring home the bacon. So we're going to hop right into our topics, and then we're going to bring Miss Lori Parker up so that she can discuss her campaign and her platform. The first topic. So San Francisco almost had its first black mayor. She was in the lead by, she had 39. The other competitors had 22 votes, 22% each. And they have a rule on the book since 2004. Put up the, let's see. It's called the ranked choice voting, in which voters select their top 3 choices in a race. But what it does is, so the person, Breed, who was going to be the first black mayor, who was pretty much solidified until a couple of days before, the other 2 competitors conspired and told their voters to pick the other one as the other choice. So they would take the top 2 and the lady would be out. It's a definitely unfortunate. It seems kind of, I don't know, seems kind of okay, the opponents had 35.6% of the vote. Leno had 25.9, and Jane, the other appointment, had 22.8. However, during the campaign, the 2 agreed to ask each other's supporters to list the other as their second place choice, according to the Chronicle. And consequently, Leno, a former state senator, received 77% of Kim's second place votes. So by early Wednesday morning, it had taken all of the votes away from Breed, who was in line to be the next mayor. Is that really fair? Tell me what you think about that. This is actually the first time they've ever used it as well. So we'll just, kind of cast light on why did they use it this time? And, is that a really fair voting policy? It was clear the voters voted for who they wanted, and then after conspiring, the vote was no longer valid. So I just feel like it sucks. And just tell me what you guys think about that. What's the next topic that we have. Okay, so, we've been talking. I'm going to have a show in a couple of weeks, and it's going to be all teachers. We're going to be talking about the state of the classroom, teacher pay. We're going to be talking about safety in the classroom. And when I came across this article on CNN, I just found it to be just a little disturbing. So this is the poem that the teacher has taught their students, and it's hanging in the classroom. The parents came for a visit, and this was actually hanging on the chalkboard, and it's always there. Lock down, lock the door, shut the lights off, say no more. Go behind the desk and hide, wait until it's safe inside. Lock down, it's all done. Now it's time to have some fun. Is this what class has come to? Like, I understand that we have to, teach safety, but that just seemed, is that the state of our classroom of today? It's not about mathematics, it's not about English and grammar, it's about basic surviving the classroom. And we're gonna talk about a little school reform a little later. I just thought that was super interesting and super disturbing at the same time. Thank you, Gwen, for tuning in. Stomp Out the Silence. Gwen Pridgeon has an organization against women against violence. It's called Stomp, S-T-O-M-P. You can go check that out on Facebook. Thank you for tuning in. Happy Thursday! Also, we're going to be talking about housing. Ben Carson, who was chosen to head HUD with zero housing experience. I feel like they could have chosen the old lady that lived in a shoe. She would have had much more housing experience than Ben Carson. And after his questionable purchase of the $31,000 dining room table for the HUD office, it's clear that he just doesn't know what he's doing. We have some info. What is the next? Oh, no, that's not the Ben Carson. Let's skip to the Ben Carson one. Bloop, bloop. So this is what Ben Carson has done. There was a rule called the Small Area Fair Market Rent Rule in the Obama era, which gave low-income people better access to jobs, schools, and it was supposed to go into effect on January the 1st. So he's kicked that out. He's also instituted a requirement of working 32 hours per week for those who are in low-income housing. Even if the unemployment rate in the area is sky high and there are no jobs for these unqualified people, they're still going to be required to often pay sometimes 3 times what their rent was before with no increase in finances. So they can barely afford what they're paying now. Let's say it's $50. So now they're going to have to come up with $150 in order to stay in low-income housing. It's totally unfortunate. The housing crisis, even here in D.C., the prices are astronomical. We have a lot of studios and one-bedroom apartments. If you have kids, it's very difficult to find adequate housing in D.C. And we can talk about housing a little later when we bring up Lori Parker. And we also want to talk about this. The LGBT, there was an instance where a baker refused service to an LGBT couple to make their cake, and then it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And actually, the Supreme Court ruled that it was okay that he denied them service according to his religious beliefs. Now, we all know that that's crazy, but a congressman put up the rest of the verbiage. Scroll down a little bit. His name is South Dakota State Rep Mike Clark, was in support of the Supreme Court ruling, and they asked him, based on your statement, if he decided that he didn't want to do a wedding cake because the couple is black, would you support that as well? And he responded by saying, quote, "It is his business. He should have the opportunity to run this business the way he wants. If he wants to turn away people of color, then that's his choice." End quote. And that is Representative Michael Clark. Get him out of office. We don't need anybody in office that thinks that people can turn away people because of their color in this country. We don't need anybody like that in office. Vote him out. I feel like the lady on Lean On Me. I want all the chains off of these doors, Joe Clark. Yeah, get him out of office. We don't need anybody like that in office. It's very unfortunate. I have one more thing that I saw, and I'm totally for, I know this is kind of random, I am for women being able to feed their children in public. I don't see what the big deal is about it. And I feel like this lady had the best response I've ever seen. There was a sign that said, if you need to breastfeed, please cover yourself. Thank you. And she responded by covering just her face and left the baby and the breast out. That was genius. Because that's how crazy you sound when you try to prevent mothers from nourishing their children. It's a natural thing. Children have to. I'm not even a big fan of kids. You know I don't like kids. Like, kids are like little broke best friends. They never have any money. They're always asking for stuff. Feed me, clothe me, but you have to feed them, you know? And I just feel like that was ingenious. That's all of our topics that we have today. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to take a quick break and come back with Lori Parker, who's running for Ward 8. Stay tuned. Ward 1, I'm sorry, my apologies. Ward 1. I'm just adding 7 whole numbers to the wards. Stay tuned for more Thursday Night Tea with Anthony. Oh my God, it's like I woke up and I was a comedian. And then it was like I had my own show. It's crazy. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night tea. 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 Thursday. Welcome back. I have an amazing guest with me today. Everybody give Lori Parker a round of applause. Yay!
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, most definitely. We met last night at the Ask Racine show. Shout out to Ask Racine. That was an amazing
indeed.
show.
It was.
But
Happy Pride, everyone.
Happy Pride! Happy Pride! We had a Pride show last week. It was just full of everything.
Oh, wonderful.
Before I even met you, I had already seen you, like your promos, and I went to like your page and see, you know, what you had going on. Tell us a little bit about you and where you come from.
Sure, and thanks so much for having me on the show.
Most definitely.
Again, my name is Lori Parker. I'm running for the D.C. Council to represent Ward 1 on the D.C. Council because I truly believe in my heart that we deserve and we need a Ward 1 for all. I'm a third-generation native Washingtonian.
Woo-woo!
Thank you very much. I've lived in Columbia Heights, Meridian Hill for more than 18 years, and I have more than 25 years of experience in all branches of district government, most recently having served as a judge in D.C. Superior Court for 11 years. So I'm the only candidate in the Ward 1 race with a solid and proven track record of not just dealing with difficult issues, but also getting right to the heart of what needs to be done.
And it's before I came here, I was telling some of my coworkers who was going to be on the show because they always ask me, and I told them, and 3 out of the 5 were, the other 2 just didn't say anything. They were like, oh my God, I hope she wins. So they're following you as well. So you have a really big following.
Thank you so much. And our message is resonating. We've gone out and knocked on thousands of doors.
I saw
and
those
what we
pictures.
Hear,
Yeah,
thank you.
you're in the streets.
And what we hear from our neighbors is what our platform is being built on. So this isn't Lori Parker's platform. This is a platform based on what the needs are, what the true needs are in our ward. Ward 1's great, but it's not going to be great until we can really make sure that all of our neighbors, regardless of income, race, sexual orientation, to everyone is able to benefit and participate in all the economic prosperity that we see in the ward today.
And I always like to let my viewers know, because some of them are not well versed in politics or just the areas of the ward. So could you explain exactly what area Ward 1 entails?
Well, if you look at a map of the District of Columbia, Ward 1 is right in the middle of that map, and it includes areas like Adams Morgan, Mount Pleasant, Columbia Heights, Meridian Hill, LaDroit Park, Howard University, Upper Shaw, Pleasant Plains, where we are right now. So Ward 1 is a very diverse mix of communities that Kalorama, I miss Kalorama, not intentionally, obviously, but it's a mix of communities that are located right in the center part of the city.
And that's why I love DC. It's such a melting pot. There's so much diversity here, and it just thrives. So what are some of the things that you're running for? You're running on your platform?
Right. Our top 3 priorities, again, as we hear from our neighbors, are improving constituent services in this ward, making sure that our most vulnerable residents have timely access to needed services. And number 2, or maybe right up there along with lack of constituent services, is lack of affordable housing in the ward.
That is a major issue in all of the elections that are going on. It's, I mean, it seems like they're just skyrocketing. It seems like the more they put up, the less people. I don't know. I really feel like the homeless population is so huge, but it seems like they're just building more and more places for people to live, but not for the people that actually live here.
And that's a great point that you made. You mentioned earlier Ben Carson and what HUD is doing in terms of disinvesting funds to fund subsidized housing in all of our cities across the country. And one of the things that I've committed to as a candidate in the district's race is to make sure that we advocate for a dedicated fund to repair and maintain our public housing units. Every resident of Ward 1, regardless of income, is entitled to safe, decent, and affordable housing. And when, in fact, we see reductions in federal investment in our housing stock, we must do more as a district to make sure that we actually increase funding locally. Second, in terms of affordable housing, we also need to take some of these blighted properties and vacant properties off our streets and out of our neighborhoods and develop those properties for housing at all income levels.
Definitely. I'm not sure what plans I used to live in Ward 8. Well, I still do. I just live in another part of it. But I used to live at the intersection of MLK and Malcolm X. And just when I know. I had to literally. One time I came home from work and I had walked through the door. I still had my bag on. Pow, 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 pow. I had not been in the house, and it was right outside of my house, like literally out in front of my door. It could have been me. That was the 3rd instance of something like that. And then I was just like, I just can't do it. Mentally, I don't feel safe. But that's only part of it. There's no fresh fruit around there. There's no fresh vegetables. There's no places to get something to eat that is healthy. And then there was is it St. Elizabeth's right there? I just felt like that could have been turned into like a housing project for the homeless or something. There's so many dilapidated buildings and structures around that could be used for affordable housing or just housing period that they're just not taken care of.
Well, you're absolutely right, Anthony. If you don't have access to safe, decent, affordable housing, then obviously you aren't going to thrive in other areas of your life,
True.
right? Like
Yes.
employment, right?
True.
Like being educated, right?
True.
People need and deserve safe places and affordable places to live. One issue you raised, though, in terms of public safety, I think sort of ties into an approach that I think we need to focus on more comprehensively. I believe that communities are only as safe, vibrant, and secure, or safe, vibrant, and strong, as we make them for everyone.
Yes.
And so when we have people living in neighborhoods, longtime residents who feel like the positive changes that are happening in our neighborhoods doesn't apply to them,
True.
then that obviously impacts an individual's interest and ability to be engaged.
It alienates
and
them.
That's exactly right. And I believe that we make our neighborhoods safe by bringing everybody to the table and taking a comprehensive approach to
Yes.
public safety. And that means making sure that our neighbors in need of substance abuse services, in need of mental health services, and other human services have timely access to those services, and that we improve community police relations to the extent that our neighbors feel safe and comfortable reporting information to the police so that we can ensure perpetrators are held responsible for their
Yes.
actions.
True, indeed. What about schools in Ward 1?
That's a great question. I'm pleased to announce that a couple of weeks ago, I was just endorsed by the Washington Teachers Union.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
We love endorsements. We love endorsements.
Oh, it was a powerful endorsement, and I feel so appreciative and so thankful. And everyone knows this, and I said this from day one during the start of my campaign, that I do and will take a children-first approach to every piece of legislation and policy that we're considering in the District of Columbia. Our children must be considered at the forefront of every decision that we make. And that means making sure that our teachers and our schools are adequately resourced to serve children at different learning levels, some of whom are actually entering school behind grade level. We need to make sure that our teachers are engaged in improving the school environment, so that our teachers weigh in terms of what the best environment is for our young people to learn. And then in terms of school safety, we have to make sure that our teachers, students, parents, and the community are involved in approaches to reduce violence in our schools.
Yeah, it's just becoming, I was, mentioning earlier that I'm going to have a show where it's all teachers, and they're going to come in and have like a little roundtable discussion about the state of the classroom.
Yay for teachers.
Yeah,
a very unappreciated group, but such an important group in terms of making sure a young person does have a chance for success.
Here's my thing. Teachers prepare youth for the future.
That's right.
They give them the groundwork of anything that they have to do when they become adults. Excuse me. Yet they are paid the least for something so important. It just baffles me. I just don't. They're underappreciated. And when teachers have to purchase their own supplies for the classroom, I just don't understand. I just don't get it.
Well, I can say one of the things that I'm committed to, if elected to the Ward 1 DC Council seat, is to hold the school leaders, the public school system leaders, and that includes our traditional public schools and our charter schools, accountable for making sure that funds appropriated or allocated where they should be.
Yes.
That means at-risk dollars go to at-risk students. That means that teacher training dollars go to training programs for teachers that teachers are engaged in. And that means making sure that the public has data about how, in fact, school funds are spent, so that teachers aren't coming out of pocket to purchase basic school supplies or out of pocket for resources that, in fact, should be in the school, like more social workers, more nurses, more public health officials.
Very much so. One of my friends read this. She posted that she has a class of like maybe 30 young students. She gave them a lollipop at the end of the day, sent them home. When the next day, half of the class came back with blue mouths. So they didn't even brush their teeth. Just basic socialization things that are taught are just not being taught. And I don't think that they have she said, so she just went out and started buying toothbrushes for her class, you know, to alleviate the situation. But it's horrible that they have to do that.
Well, the number one issue in education, in my view, is improving parental engagement. If we don't find ways to further engage our parents in a child's education, we aren't doing what we need to do as adults. And it's also leaving teachers on an island onto themselves, and not providing them the support they need to help facilitate a child's success. Parental engagement is key. Recently, the D.C. Council introduced a piece of legislation to reduce the number of suspensions and expulsions in our public schools.
Because they were all brown people. They had a higher percentage.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. And a commitment to reducing those disparities is critical. But you can't do that by taking parents out of the process. That same piece of legislation also required schools to take children back from suspensions without a parent or guardian accompanying them.
Oh, no.
If we can't ensure that our parents are invested in our children's educational performance, then in fact, we're going to have children who aren't in fact assisted to the highest ability possible to succeeding in school.
True.
We have to engage our parents and not put put all of the onus on our teachers.
I love your energy. I love
Thank
your,
you very
your
much.
fervency. Like, it is amazing. Lisa Cohen said, break the ceiling and kick down the door. Lori Parker.
Right, thank you.
Charity Sade Bryan said, you are fantastic. What else would you like for the
Thanks
voters
for all
to
the
know?
shout outs. All right. I just like to say, June 19th, it's only a couple of weeks away.
Juneteenth!
That's right. Primary day. Early voting has already started in Ward 1. Our early voting center is the Columbia Heights Community Center, located at 1480 Girard Street, Northwest. I ask you all to come out, support number 3 on the ballot, Lori Parker. Stand for experienced leadership. This race should not be run by who raises the most money or who puts out the most tweets. This race needs to be run by who is the most experienced and committed leader and who can get the job done. And my track record speaks to that. So I hope you come out to vote. If you're not already registered, please register to vote and check number 3 on the ballot, Lori Parker for DC Council Ward 1. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Give Lori Parker a round of applause. Yo. Thank you for coming by and sharing your platform with us. I wish you all the best luck in the world. I hope you win it all.
Thanks.
Number 3 on the ballot. Go check out Lori Parker for Ward 1 on Facebook.
That's correct.
Yep, and go check
Elect
out
Lori Parker.
Elect Lori Parker on Facebook
and on Twitter.
And on Twitter. And
Yes.
what's your website?
My website is LoriParkerWard1.com.
Go check it out. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Lori Parker. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with more Thursday Night Tea with Anthony.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thursday, Thursday, Thursday. Hey, I said Thursday, Thursday night tea. A Thursday night tea. I said, oops, it's Thursday night tea. Oops, it's Thursday night tea. Anthony. Thursday tea, Anthony. Oh my God, it's like I woke up and I was a comedian. And then it was like I had my own show. It's crazy. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night tea. 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 Thursday. 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 Thursday night tea, a Thursday night tea. I said, oops, it's Thursday, Thursday night tea. Oops, it's Thursday night tea. Anthony. Oh my God, it's like I woke up and I was a comedian. And then it was like I had my own show. It's crazy. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, 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 Thursday, 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 Thursday. Thursday night tea, a Thursday night tea. I said, oops, it's Thursday night tea. Oops, it's Thursday night tea. Anthony. Anthony. Oh my God, it's like I woke up and I was a comedian. And then it was like I had my own show. It's crazy. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea. Thursday night tea, Thursday night. Thursday night.
Hey, I'm back, but I'm about to go. I'm going to have Jacob recycle the show. We had an amazing show today with Lori Parker, who's running for Ward 1 Council. And I'm about to go knock these heads off at this comedy competition. If you're out in the Laurel area, come out to the Hideout. The show starts at 8 o'clock. It's a free show. It's a comedy competition. The prize is $100, and I'm going to get those coins. Going to get those coins. So tune in next week where my wonderful co-host will be back. Justin Stewart, you know him from Fox 5. He'll be here. The Blairisms, both Brandon and Blair will be here talking about their new spring line. I have some awesome comedians coming in. So stay tuned next week at 6 p.m. I thank you all for tuning in. You're all amazing. Love you lots. And thank you for tuning in with Thursday Night Tea with Anthony.
Listen Vision, Listen Vision. DC's #1 recording studio.
Thursday Night Tea.